are you? Hello, hello. Happy Monday. Cool. So I'm doing a 7-day video challenge, which has been, I meant to start last week and I kind of just put it off. And so I was like, I'm just going to dive in and I'm going to start this week. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You guys are being so sweet. I'm a little out of practice when it comes to Instagram lives. I used to do them more often, but I kind of have just let life get in the way and kind of lost a little bit of my inspiration. And I don't know, I've just been a little bit more reclusive. So I'm really excited to be jumping on here today. And I just, so to give you guys a little bit of background, if you saw in my stories, I recently joined something called the Lion's Den, and it's basically a group coaching program with Sean Whalen. And one of the first assignments he gave us was to do a 7-day video challenge. So this is day 1 for me, and I'm supposed to be answering the question of who am I? And I think this question is so funny because I think whenever we are asked this question, whether we are interviewing for a new job or we are making new friends or in a new relationship, we always want to put our best foot forward, right? We always want to say the best things about ourselves so that the other person thinks we're good enough or cool enough or smart enough. Or we tell them what we think they want to hear. So for example, if I was in a job interview, I would say what my professional accomplishments were. If I was on a date with somebody, maybe I would talk just about how great I am. So I think this is such an interesting question because I feel like our answers usually are dictated by the audience, who we're talking to. And I don't want to do that today. I want to be really honest and transparent about who I am, or at least how I see myself. And I don't want it to just be surface level. So of course, I'll talk a little bit about who I am, what I do, but I also want to kind of dig a little bit deeper about who I think I am. Some of the things that make me who I am. And yeah, so I'm just glad that you guys could tune in today. Thank you so much to everybody that's joined. I love seeing your names pop up. And then if you also have any specific questions about, that you want me to talk about myself, for sure, drop them in the comments and I'll scroll back up and answer some at the end. So who am I? Okay, such an interesting question. Well, to start out, I'm a mom. I have 2 toddlers. One is 3 years old. He turned 3 in September, and the other is going to be 2 in March. So full-time mom. I have wanted to be a mom my whole life. I helped raise all of my siblings. 2 of my sisters were emancipated when they were in high school, and so they moved in with me when I was in my early 20s, and I helped raise them their last few years of high school. I just love kids. I've always loved kids, and I feel so blessed to have 2 children. I am also a coach. I love to coach people. I have a pretty extensive coaching background. Some of you have been following me long enough that you remember this, but a few years back, it was about 2016, 2017, I worked for a huge multi-million-dollar paleo company where I was their head coach. And so I did things like this all the time. I did Instagram and Facebook Lives to their millions and millions of followers. I helped lead people through 30-day challenges. And so that's where my coaching background started, but I've always been really into coaching. I've always been really into nutrition coaching, fitness coaching. That's really what my background is in. I'm a CrossFit coach, personal trainer, group fitness instructor. I love helping people get healthy. It's the best thing ever to me. I love helping people learn how to move their bodies, how to fuel their bodies. So that's a little bit about my coaching background. And then some of you might be like, well, now you are coaching about sobriety, so how that happened. So I have always been talking about food and fitness and nutrition on my pages. But let's see, back in August, I kind of went through this transition where I was only talking about sobriety, every so often. It was kind of peppered in with my other content. And on August 1st, I celebrated 4 years of sobriety, and I decided to make a reel about it. Well, that reel ended up going viral, and it has I think 700 and something thousand views on it. And it just brought a flood of people to my page. And there was something, yes, it was a very cool experience, but there was something about it that kind of made me stop and think, okay, I feel like I have been creating content for months and months and months, and nobody's been engaging with it. And then now I felt like it was positive reinforcement that maybe there's something more there and I should be talking about sobriety. And I know that I do have a very unique perspective on it. I was able to, so I'm 4 years sober. I was able to get sober by myself. I didn't have any counseling, any therapy, I didn't go to AA. I didn't do rehab. I was able to heal my addiction using a variety of holistic methods, which is what I coach on my page. So there was just kind of this light bulb moment that I had where I was like, I feel like I've been talking about food and fitness and nutrition for so long, and there's so many people that do that, and maybe that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. And so ever since then, I have transitioned into full-on sobriety mode, talking about sobriety. But what's cool about it is because food and like health and fitness all played a part in my ability to get sober. I still get to talk about the things that I love, but now it's a lot more clear like who I'm talking to, and I'm talking to people who are on a sobriety journey, whether they are sober curious or, are already sober. Maybe they're in early sobriety, or maybe I know I have people that follow me that have been sober for a long, long, long time. And I'm able to now cater my content, talking about food and fitness and health, but in a way that's going to serve the sobriety space. So I still feel really lucky that I can talk about the things that I love and just be very clear about who I'm talking to. So I'm a coach. Yeah. So to sum that up, I'm a coach. What else? I also have a full-time job. So this is just actually like a passion project of mine. It's a way that I feel like I can, contribute to bettering society in some way. This truly is fun for me. It's enjoyable. I love connecting with other people. I love that you guys love the reels that I make. I just have fun. I have fun doing everything I do on this page. It does come with a lot of, there's some not so fun sides, like the negative comments that I get, the negative messages that I get. I actually just had to take this past weekend off of Instagram because I just needed to for my mental health, because I was getting such a flood of so many negative comments, because I'm challenging a narrative, and that's always going to happen. I've said so many times, but I will continue to say it, that I respect everyone's journey, and whatever they did to get to this point of sobriety is completely respected by me, and I would never discount that. And it doesn't mean that their journey is any less than just because they picked a different method. Like, I truly believe if you got sober and that was the best thing for you, then it doesn't matter how you did it. Like, I'm just offering a different perspective of a way for you to think about it that's outside of the norm. That's outside of a tradition that's been around for, 60 plus years. I'm trying to do something different here, and it's okay that it's not for everyone. I'm not trying to help everyone. I'm trying to connect with the people like me who for many, many years tried to get sober, but tried AA and it didn't work, or who couldn't afford to go to a rehab that would have been worth their while. Or whatever the reason was, couldn't afford therapy, didn't have insurance. I was homeless at one point. There were many reasons why the typical route didn't work for me. And so I know that there are other people out there like me who maybe really want to get sober, but just haven't found the right method yet, or haven't found a person that they connect with and they're like, wow, I like the way this person talks, it feels like they're talking to me. So that's really what I feel like I'm trying to do here. And I love it so much. So yeah, this isn't my full-time job. This is just a passion project that I have on the side that I'm kind of just really trying to let it grow organically. And what I mean by that is like just really feel into what's going to happen with it, right? So this change happened in August, and what's really interesting, some of you might know this, but some of you probably don't, that so I had I think it was like 2,500 followers back in August, and like I said, I had been posting content all summer, all spring, and like nothing was happening. I literally felt like I was talking to crickets. And so I decided to go through my entire following list and get rid of anyone that I didn't know, anyone that I hadn't ever seen them engage with any of my content. I basically went through my entire followers list, like 2,500 people, and I think I ended up with like 800 left. And so these were all people that I either knew for sure in person, or I recognized their name. Maybe we were like virtual friends, whatever. And what happened was that reel went viral, like I said, in August. And then it was like 2,000 people appeared again. And it was like I had cleared out this old energy, these followers that weren't really like serving my mission or like weren't going to help me reach the people that I really wanted to reach. And so I removed all those followers, and then a flood of new people, like probably a lot of you guys that are watching this now, came in, which was really cool. And so now I've got like 3,700 followers, and I've totally stopped for once in my life thinking about the numbers, like looking at the numbers, worrying about the numbers. Like I truly just believe that whomever finds this content and whomever scrolls and finds a reel or it ends up on my page, that they are seeing what they're supposed to see. And it's just, I just truly believe that it's going to be meant to be. Whomever ends up with me and on my journey is totally how it's supposed to be. And so I've just been kind of letting all of this just evolve. And so that happened in August. And then because I decided to transition to coaching about sobriety, I was like, oh, well, Sober October is like a big slogan, like a big saying that people in the recovery space, talk about. And I was like, ooh, am I missing like an opportunity here to work with some people who might be searching Sober October or thinking about doing like a month off of drinking. And so I very quickly like scrambled to put together, a Sober October group coaching program and got my people in. And that just ended actually yesterday. And it's been so amazing because I learned so much from the experience. I had met so many amazing people who are just on all different paths in their sobriety journey. And it was so awesome to just have that experience. But it's just, what's interesting is like, I didn't plan that. Like literally I pulled it all off at the end of September. And then I learned so much throughout the month of October. And so now transitioning into November, I'm kind of taking the month to, take a little bit of a break because it was a lot to have my full-time job plus manage that group coaching program. Plus there was a lot of stuff we did in between. And I'm telling you guys a little bit about this because there might be future opportunities that you'd be interested in. So I want to tell you a little bit kind of like how it worked. But we had weekly calls on Zoom every Sunday afternoon calls. They were about 90 minutes. And what I did was had like a presentation and about like a certain subject. So every week was a different aspect of health, which I'll talk about in just a second. And so we would review that aspect of health, and then we would do like kind of like group coaching throughout. So if I would have prompts, like questions to ask everyone that was on the call. And then we would all listen to each other's responses. And then if I felt like there was an opportunity for coaching, then I would give some coaching. And then in between that, I sent multiple emails throughout the week of like encouragement, a recap of the call in case someone couldn't make it. We also had a private Facebook group, which was really cool. So I would go in there and go live once a week and do a talk about something that had to do with the material for that week, whatever we were learning. And then also what's cool is that it created community for the people to talk, like the people in the group to talk to each other. So if they were struggling, they could drop in there with a note or a comment. They could share wins, like that kind of stuff, which was really neat. And so that was a really exciting program. But I'm taking November to kind of think about like where I want to go from here. My initial thoughts are that was such a great experience, and I would love to do that again. And now that I've done it once, I think it would definitely be a little easier to replicate it because the slides are all made and I kind of have a better idea of like how the calls would go. But I also think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on this, but what I'm finding is that people in the recovery space or who are sober curious, it's like, I am not able to convince anyone to do anything. And what I mean by that is everyone has to be ready to make change. Like they have to choose to be ready. And there's nothing that I can say or do in a program that's going to make them ready for that change. So from my experience, what I found, especially going through the last month, is, there were some people who like just dove all in and this was like for sure the right thing for them. And then there were other people who I think it sounded like a good opportunity and maybe it's what they do want, but they're not ready to make that commitment. And the other thing that I want to mention about this program is like, and what I've said multiple times to the people who are in it is I'm not trying to convince you to never drink again. I am a big believer of taking it day by day. I mean, I'm 4 years sober and I still won't say like, I'm never going to drink again. And the reason I do that is purely for my own mental health. And because when I think too far ahead about the future, I tend to get overwhelmed, and it almost like self-sabotages, right? Like I almost feel like, okay, if I start worrying too far ahead into the future, it feels impossible. It feels like, I don't know. It feels like there's no way I'm going to be able to make it that long without drinking. And so I like to take it day by day. And it's worked for me for 4 years now, every day. Like if I am having a moment and I check in with myself, do I want to drink right now? And for 4 years, the answer has been no, and that really works for me. But I do know, like I think in the experience of other people I worked with this past month, they know that it's probably in their best interest to never drink again, to stop drinking. And they aren't ready to make that mental switch from, I am drinking now and I need to not be drinking. They're still too caught up in like, I shouldn't be drinking ever again. It's like, don't worry about that. Just worry about getting through this day, getting through the month of October. So anyways, I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there. Sorry. But, yeah, so there's some opportunities here. I'm just taking the month of November to really think about what I want to do with this space and how I want to serve this community and everyone that's so amazing in it, and what just having fun, just playing around with the opportunities. So let's see, I've talked about the fact that I'm a mother, I'm a coach, and then also I was mentioning that I do have a full-time job and that this was my passion project. And if you're just joining, what I'm doing is I'm doing a 7-day video challenge. So each day this week, I'm going to be telling you something different depending on what the video is supposed to be about. So today it's about who am I? And if you just came in, this replay will be posted, so you'll be able to watch it from the beginning. But yes, I have a full-time job. I'm a marketing director for a company, and I love it. I just got a big promotion that I'm really excited about. That also happened at the beginning of August, so everything was just like really crazy. And let's see. So basically what I do is I do all of the marketing emails and social media marketing for a company. So that's another reason why, like, every so often you might see me post about like marketing stuff. If you are a small business or have any interest in learning more about marketing or social media tactics, let me know. What else? Let's see. Who am I? I am a friend. And this is an interesting one because I feel like this past year, maybe past year and a half, a lot of my friendships have fallen away. Really, let's talk about it. The last 4 years since I got sober, a lot of my friendships have fallen away. And I truly believe that people come in and out of our lives for different reasons. And something interesting that I just actually heard on a coaching call earlier this morning that really stuck with me is like, don't give people the benefit of staying in your life or remaining your friend if they don't deserve it. You know what I mean by that is, don't be friends with someone just because, well, I've been friends with them for like 10 years, or like I've known them since I was a kid, or whatever, insert reason, right? Because if they're not adding value to your life, it shouldn't matter how many years that you guys have been friends or how you met each other or whatever the issue is, whatever the circumstance is. And that really stuck with me today because I recently ended like a 10 plus year friendship. It was like a friend breakup, I guess you could say. And I'm the one that chose to end that. And it's like I had known for probably the last few years, like this friendship isn't serving me anymore, and vice versa. Like this friendship isn't serving me anymore. I want to explain what that means is like that person wasn't showing up for me anymore. They weren't, I hardly ever heard from them. When I did call or text, it would be like days before I heard back. They had no idea what was going on in my life. They didn't make an effort to know what was going on in my life. And so the friendship in general was taking more effort on my side than it felt like I was getting anything back from this person. So it was already kind of on my radar for the last few years that this friendship probably does need to end at some point, or at least I need to change my expectations about this friendship. And so what I did was this past year, I basically took a huge step back. I just decided that I'm not going to invest any more time in this friendship, and I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to see if this person even notices. Well, long story short, they didn't notice, and I finally just had to have the conversation because what happened was every time I would see their name pop up on my phone, I would get this like pit in my stomach and like this anxiety of, I just don't want to deal with this. And when you say that enough times, like if somebody is texting you or somebody's reaching out or whatever, and you constantly are finding yourself with a pit in your stomach, you don't even want to engage, that's probably a good sign that the relationship or the friendship is like way past its point of needing to be a thing anymore. And so I had this pit in my stomach, And I was just like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I just don't want to see this person's name on my phone anymore. I know that, because I know what'll happen is I will respond to this text in a promptly, and then I won't hear back for days. And what it does is it just makes me not feel good. It makes me not feel valued as a person. It makes me feel like what I have to offer the friendship isn't good enough for them to care. And it's just a really like bad negative headspace I didn't want to be in anymore. And so I made the decision to end the friendship, and I just said, there's really nothing you can say that's going to make me change my mind. This isn't anything specific that you did. This is like years of habits that you've done. And to me, I'm just choosing to believe that who you are showing me that you are is who you are. What's the saying? It's like when people show you who they really are, believe them. I was basically trying to practice that. Like, it doesn't matter what I say or how many times I ask you to change, like you're not going to change, and I need to accept that. And so I ended that friendship. And all that to say that like I've become so aware now of my relationships and my friendships. And so when I say, who am I? I'm a friend. I actually have less friends now than I think I've ever had. But they're all super, super high quality friends and high quality connections. And I'm just in this space of like, I want to feel valued, but I also want to value other people. So I want to have friends in my life that I truly love. I don't want to take up anybody's space in their life either. And that's what I told this friend that I broke up with, is like, clearly my friendship isn't serving you either because you aren't engaged in it. So why don't we both do each other a favor and walk away from this so that we can both attract people in our lives who are way more aligned, right? Who are able to give us the kind of relationship that we want, because clearly you don't want what I have either. So I'm a friend. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you guys about myself? I am very passionate about certain things in my life. I think, obviously at the beginning I told you guys a little bit about being super passionate about health, fitness, nutrition, children, how much I love children. And so I'm just super passionate about wellness and health, and that we can truly change the trajectory of our lives based on how we take care of ourselves. And that's not only just what we eat and what we like, how we move our bodies, but also like spiritual health, like self-care, like taking time to meditate. I love working with crystals and stones and oils and some oracle cards. Like this is actually my meditation space that I am like streaming from right now. So this is where I spend almost every morning. I've really made an effort the last few weeks. I've been getting up super early to get this time in. And because my days go completely differently, the times when I make this a priority than when I don't. And so I'm really passionate about sharing that information and that knowledge with other people and making it more accessible. Because I remember when I first started learning about spirituality, I came up from a very religious background in the Catholic Church. And before anybody says anything, I'm not knocking anything about the Catholic Church. Religion is what it is. If you have a religion that you believe in, that is amazing. But I grew up in a very strict Catholic household. And so and it didn't jive with me. And so I had a really hard time when I was older, like as an adult, to find any kind of relationship with a higher power. This is another reason I've mentioned before why AA just wasn't a good fit for me. Because it felt like they were speaking a language that I couldn't engage with. Like we were speaking two different languages because they used the word God, and the word God used to be really triggering for me. It isn't anymore. Now I can use it openly because I know that it doesn't mean what the religion that I grew up in was trying to make me believe, because it never really resonated with me. I now come to believe that it's not about a man in the sky and all this stuff. It's just energy. I just believe everything's energy, and we can have good energy and bad energy and neutral energy. And God or the universe or source or whatever you want to call it, I totally respect whatever you want to call it. I actually use all those words interchangeably because they all mean the same thing to me. It's just about connecting with like a higher power and just the energy that surrounds us, and the energy that connects me to you and me to this plant that's next to me, and to the plants outside my window. So I'm super passionate about like helping people understand, because when I made the transition of understanding that religion and spirituality are not the same thing, and you can be spiritual without being religious or without adopting to a specific religion, it was like doors opened up to me, and I understood that, wow, I can be my own spiritual person. I can be a good person, and it's okay that I don't adopt a certain religion. Like, it's okay. I can just work with myself. I can do meditation. I can say my own prayers. I can take all these different pieces of spirituality that I've learned about, journaling, manifesting, like I mentioned some of the other things before. And I've created just this little method that works really well for me. And so another thing is, like, I truly try to, I'm just really passionate talking about spirituality, in a way that helps people understand, or brings them, maybe opens their mind a little bit more to the opportunity there to explore and try different things. And something I said on a coaching call, not this past call, a week before, was when I was younger, I used to wish I was a witch. Like, I used to love watching like the movie The Craft, and like I wish I could do spells and like all that kind of stuff. And what's interesting to me is now as an adult and I am working with spirituality, it's like I feel like I get to live out that aspect of myself that as a child I didn't understand. That it's not that I wanted to do witchcraft, it's that I wanted to be connected to a power. Like, there's no other way I can really say it. Like, I wanted to be connected to a power. And I feel like I now recognize that I'm a powerful being because I've stepped into my spirituality, and because I'm working with stones and crystals and oils and all these things. So I just wanted to share that because I feel like I've kind of come full circle, and that part of me that couldn't express itself as a child is now able to express itself fully as an adult. So super passionate about spirituality. And if you just joined, I'm just giving a little overview of who I am. It's part of my 7-day video challenge that I got assigned by my coach. Let me think. I don't want to keep you guys on for too long, but I wanted to let this be like really flow and just see what came out. I didn't come prepared with any kind of idea of what I was going to say. Who am I? I'm someone that really, this is a little vulnerable, but I'm someone that really wants to be in a relationship. I feel like I've not had a very good track record with relationships, and I think that I may have some limiting beliefs about my ability to be in a relationship. I think that my 20s were chaotic and filled with just drama-filled, toxic relationships that I think I'm still kind of working through. I'm just really open to finding that person that I feel like I can be my best self with, and that I am meeting them at their best self. I think it's really interesting too, because I haven't dated since I got sober, and that feels a little overwhelming to me. If I'm being completely honest, it does feel a little bit overwhelming to, like, what does that look like? Like, how do I navigate that? Because a lot of dates, people want to recommend like, oh, let's go grab a drink or whatever. Obviously that's not going to work for me. Or we could go grab a drink, but I'm going to be drinking like a mocktail or, something non-alcoholic. And I just feel like a lot of people, especially right now, are, for lack of a better word, really in their desire to numb themselves. And so what I mean is, like, whether it's food or it's alcohol or it's drugs or whatever it is, I feel like a lot of people right now there's a lot of like collective pain that we all are in, based on like obviously the circumstances of the world, or just, I think a lot of us just have like a lot of unresolved trauma and childhood stuff maybe that's coming up to the surface that we're all kind of healing at one time. So basically what I'm saying is it's a shit show out there, and a lot of people just want to check out and just want to drink or mask it or cover it up because that's easier than dealing with it. So I guess all that to say, like, I am somebody who really am hoping, let me change my words. I'm not hoping. I do believe that it's going to happen for me. When it happens, I don't know. I'll obviously share that journey with you guys here, especially navigating dating and sobriety, especially dating as a single mom with 2 kids. That's also an interesting like dynamic to add to it. Like, if I were to put together a dating profile, I feel like anybody would just be like, she seems like a hot mess. Like, I'm just going to scroll right past her. So yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys updated. I'm not in any capacity to start that process right now, but that is just an aspect of me that I thought it was worth mentioning, is that like, I do feel like I could be a valuable partner, and I am looking forward to, finding who that other person is. So I can't really think of anything else at the top of my head that I want to share as far as who am I. But I will be coming on every day this week at noon Mountain Standard Time to talk to you guys about a variety of different things. Today was who am I? So I shared a little bit of just what I could think of about what you guys might like to know about me. Let me just go back through and look at the comments and see if there's anything you guys asked that you wanted to know. So, how are you? Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, you are all so awesome. Where are you from? So I'm originally from Maryland. I was born on the East Coast. And now I live in the mountains of Utah, and I love it very much. I've actually lived in lots of different places. I've been a little bit of a nomad, but now that I have kids, I've really settled down into one place and don't foresee at this time moving around very often. But I've lived in Vegas, California, North Carolina. I lived there for many, many years, and some of my dear friends still live there. So East Coast originally is where I'm from. Let's see if there's any other questions or comments. Hello. Hey there. I chose to stop drinking, but I did do AA. It's been such a blessing. Absolutely. I think that's amazing. And I have zero issue with anyone who's chosen to use AA to get sober. All I simply am doing on my platform is just sharing the reasons why it didn't work for me, not meaning that it won't work for anyone, but that the reasons that it didn't work for me, and offering some alternatives. But I so respect anybody's journey that chose to do AA and that it really worked for them, because that's amazing. Like, anyone who found sobriety, it absolutely does not matter how. It just matters that you stuck with it. So thank you so much for your comment, and I totally am proud of you. I think that's awesome. You guys are so sweet with your comments. Oh, Jess, I love you too. Yes, Maggie, you're my fellow witchy woman. We're all a hot mess. I love that. AJ, you crack me up. And Sarah, I love you so much. Thanks for watching. Cool. Well, I'll be back every day this week, and hopefully I'll keep it around this length of time, maybe a little bit shorter. If you missed any parts of this video, I'm going to upload the replay later on today. So I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your Monday. Do something nice for yourself today. Go eat a piece of yummy chocolate, go take a walk, go listen to some good music, go dance, just do something, take a hot bath, do something that you deserve, because you're amazing and you deserve as much self-care as you can get, and so you can squeeze in at any time. Love your non-judgmental approach. Thank you so much. I really am so glad to hear you say that, because I really try to come from a place that is no judgment and no shame. And it's hurtful when people misunderstand my intentions and don't realize that I am just trying to be who I am, and I'm not judging anybody for their experience. So I love you guys so much, and I'm so happy that I did this. And I will see you again tomorrow.